So I'm Michelle Popp from Unity, and Jersey Girls is the name of my lotion, but I also have ventured out on a few other things. During lunch break and stuff, I have a whole bunch of tester bottles, so feel free to use all you want. Screw off the top, smell them before you try them is fine. They'll be setting up here. The only one is if you don't like patchouli, do not try on the orange patchouli, because then you won't like my lotion. So try to watch people on the patchouli. Yeah, so this is our logo, and this is exactly what our labels look like. My oldest son is an engineer, and he so kindly did this for me, so that's very helpful. Why I started, we've had a desire to introduce a value-added thing to our small dairy. I only have 26 stalls in the barn. I maybe milk 30 cows. Sometimes we have milked 50 already in Switch, but just a small farm. And we wanted to, our cows give A2 milk, and we wanted to bottle A2 milk. I believe I talked to Hyman's about bottling it. It's been that many years ago. And that just, that couldn't work for us. And I couldn't build a plant on the farm. It was too much money. So this is less labor required than a food product and a longer shelf life than a food-based product. My lotion to some people can be considered more essential than some cosmetic products. Maybe makeup, is only for maybe half the population, where lotion, some people absolutely have to have it. What I do, I make the lotion from my cow's milk following pasteurization. I do pasteurize the milk. The lotion base has only, so when we just made this up this weekend, I use Optifin as a natural preservative, but Optifin has changed their label and is not labeled natural preservative now. So I have 6 all-natural ingredients along with a paraben and formaldehyde-free preservative in. I kind of got to change the naming. We're probably going to have to change our labels. And I make 7 varieties, and the ones that have a scent to them, I have unscented for people that can't tolerate anything or cannot have it in a place they work. We only use essential oils, not fragrances. What I do, so I also take pictures while I work. There's more pictures of my cows on my cell phone than my children. That's probably terrible, but, and so I sell these photos, like enlarged mounted photos, and we make some blank cards with the photos on. And, and I also use social media because Facebook's free to share about what we do. And so when I do a lot of craft fairs, and when I go to craft fairs, I maybe don't sell a ton of these photos, but people love to see the picture. The story, it's okay. The picture, they love. Like, they love to see that. And they care about the story. They care about what I'm doing. They care how I care for my animals. But the pictures, they absolutely love the pictures. Here's at a craft fair this winter. Craft fairs and farmers markets, pretty similar, except typically a craft fair is indoors. But I will tell you, if it's downpouring outside, snowstorm, any of that, you are weather affected, even if you're indoors. People aren't going to come out to the mall and walk through. I did think I was going to hate giving up my Saturdays to go to a craft fair. I'm not a craft fair person, but I actually love it. I love meeting hundreds of people. I love sharing my story. I have always loved to share agriculture. That's huge for me. So, and that is why in our lotion, we messed with it until we had it so that milk was the main ingredients, because that's what I wanted. I wanted milk. I want it tied to the farm. I mean, that's what it's all about. So yeah, I love to share my story. I love to help people that have skin problems. Like somebody might come and buy 5 bottles of lotion, that's great. But the real satisfaction comes when someone can use my lotion and they couldn't find one at the store they could use. So it touches my heart when I can help people that have skin issues and they can use it. So is it working? We've found it to be profitable. Relatively low input. It still takes more labor to milk the cows, feed the cows, all that jive, than it does to make lotion. The capital investments are much lower when you're used to farming. You're used to big numbers. I can make lotion for much smaller numbers. And my raw materials and packaging also too is, just seems on such a small scale compared to farming numbers. And this is scalable. I can grow it as much as I want or as little as I want. I can idle where I am now or expand more. Future plans, maybe online retail, maybe Etsy shop, more local stores and shops, and maybe other non-food products made with milk. I mean, I'd love to make like a shampoo that only has a few ingredients, and milk could be one of them. Chapstick, I'm a huge chapstick person. I'd love to make my own and have milk in it, but yeah. This is actually in a coffee shop in Colby, and we have our story there because people want to know, what's your story? And that coffee shop sells a lot of lotion. I didn't really think it would, but it does. What didn't work? Well, I already mentioned that. Craft fair weather, you can have a gangbuster day, or it could be a flop of a day. Small hot farm stands, I learned, do not work. They're enclosed, and if there's freezers running in there, that makes more heat. So we did have some lotion separate, and we took it out of there because my best advertising is word of mouth. And I didn't want anyone to get one that wasn't right. So I've learned it's not a good idea. Do we let it get hot in our vehicle and turn to liquid and then it's fine later? Yes, we do. But I'm not expecting people to buy that bottle. Some local shop contracts and agreements. Commission, so stores charge me between 10 and 30% commission. 30% gets pretty high. It does get my product out there. It makes my margin much smaller, obviously. 10%'s great. So I ran across one, and I had to pull out of the place. They wanted 25% commission. So they left me come in there 30% commission, but then they had a monthly agreement. It was 25% commission and a $30 a month shelf charge. And I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna move enough out of here. And they begged me to come. Another lotion person had pulled out. And I was gonna be there in a couple of days. They knew that, and they went and bought a whole bunch of another brand of Wisconsin-made lotion, because that's what they have, put it on the shelf, but still wanted me to come. So, yeah, there were a few other lotions in the store, and I only stayed 1 month, because I'm like, I can't have it cost me. That I can't do. And yeah, they did not move near as much as a small shop in another small town that I was in for the same amount of time. The one that had the shelf charge, I think my check was $49, and I started in another small town shop, and my check was $253. That's how much more moved in a different one. So, advice on starting. Number one, you gotta love it. If you don't love it, just scratch that idea and come up with a new one, because we're all farmers here. Some days we do not love it, but we still do it because most days we love it. So you gotta love what you're doing. Research and more research. Start with a business plan, and that doesn't have to be fancy wrote up. It can be scrap paper with numbers, because it doesn't help your farm if it's going to cost money, you know, your venture. Figure out special licenses required. Where can you sell it? How will you promote it? Your logo, trademark. Gather feedback. So I think, maybe Facebook's going to remind me today. I think today might be a 1-year anniversary from the first store or small shop that I was in. It's one of these days here. And so that would have been in February. But the fall before, we were already messing around making it. So at Halloween, I remember when we'd stop at every place, I'd go to the door with my daughter. I'd give them lotion. They'd give her candy. And that was part of that gathering the feedback. That was just handing out bottles and see what people thought of it. Christmas that year, we brainstormed, and I have big family Christmas gatherings, and yeah, help me name it. And everybody threw out names. And Jersey Girls was one of the names that were thrown out. Some of my combinations, like orange patchouli. I kind of wanted to use patchouli, and a cousin of mine said, orange goes great with patchouli. Thank you. I mean, some of these are family or friend generated, and I like that. I like that. And find your team or support system. Boy, if it's not your family, maybe your best friend, maybe your other farm friends, maybe in my case, Jersey Girls. I love all my Jersey farm friends, but I love other ones too. This is a picture. My son and daughter-in-law had a dairy breakfast last summer at their farm. And so we had these little notes, and we tied them on, and I think we had 50 bottles they gave out, because that dairy breakfast gives out like door prizes as people, every 10th person or whatever got one, however it worked. So we gave them out, and yeah, how much lotion did I give out in this first year? A lot. I've had a lot of groups of, like wrestling. I have to drop one off, our area wrestling, like the CUDA wrestling, but it's called something else. I don't have a child in wrestling, but they came to me, or yeah, just like the Jersey youth come to me, and some cooperatives for scholarships. And so I've donated a lot of baskets and stuff just because I can. And I like to support if they approach me, I like to support their cause. And I think, yeah, you gotta give a lot to get your product out there and for people to know about you. This is not my lotion necessarily, but thoughts to live by, and I think these are super important in life. And you must have an open mind to new ideas or ways of living, and this can be applied to your farm. You're the master of your thoughts. Your current thoughts are your future life, and your thoughts become things. If you're a Debbie Downer, it's going to be a Debbie Downer week and month and year. It's just how it is. Do I have bad days? You bet. But yeah, I've really, so people ask me, why'd you make lotion? I woke up one day and I knew I needed to make lotion. I was at a time in my life where I was very open and perceptive to just have to stop and just open up and listen to what you need to do in life. Even if that's not starting a business, what do you need to do in life? Relationships, anything. And here are some of my Jersey girls. So this is a photo I had taken, I don't remember, was it 5 years ago, 6 years ago? And of course, we were developing a label in January, so I didn't have a good picture of my cows. So I said, I think I have a picture. And so this is our label. These are our original Jersey girls, these 3 girls here. And yeah, I don't know. They're beautiful. I love them. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Between milkings, we can make maybe 4 varieties. And my mom is a widow, and she loves to help me, so that's nice to team it up. And we do, all the equipment that I use to make it, I run through a dishwasher. So we can only dirty all of our equipment, and because you don't want scents to mix or anything like that. So I only have like 2 sets of all the equipment and then some dividers. So I can make 4 kinds in a day, but that's pretty much pushing it. And yeah, and then, yeah, it can get done in a day. And the pasteurizing milk takes some time too, and that's, you know, that holds me up. If I pasteurize the milk one day and make the lotion the next day would help me. In an Instapot, yes, the easiest way, yeah. And how often, boy, that depends. If there's a bunch of craft fairs coming up, and that's the other thing, well, in a picture back there. So I make 4 sizes, an 8-ounce tub, an 8-ounce pump, a 4-ounce bottle, and a 2-ounce bottle. So that'll be the other problem. I was at a craft fair one Saturday, and I sold 45 of those little 2-ounce bottles. I don't know, maybe people were gonna use them as stocking stuffers, I'm not sure what. So then all of a sudden I had to make a bunch of lotion for the next Saturday just because I didn't have hardly any supply of those to offer. So sometimes I have lotion, I just don't have it in the right bottle. So yeah, it's, and I think, you know, and we won't sell any of those for a long time, and then all of a sudden a bunch, so it's unpredictable that way. I have a Wisconsin seller's license, but I believe that's the only one I was required to have. Yeah, I'm just pasteurizing, you know, so the original lotion that we messed around with, we were not pasteurizing it. It seemed fine, and then I'm like, I'm just concerned. So I pasteurize it, then I've pasteurized the milk that I make it out of. Yep. Yeah, so I don't have a license to pasteurize, right? It's actually kind of in quarts, so it's about 7 quarts is the biggest I can mix up. I think in my case right now, Facebook is my biggest promoter. And word of mouth, but yeah, Facebook probably. Yeah, I didn't seek any, I used funds I had, I guess. It wasn't a big investment. I mean, I think for me to start out, I probably could start out on a small scale with $600. I think it really depends on what you want to go into and what you want to do. I mean, some things are going to require thousands of dollars to start. And then, boy, write that business plan and tour. I mean, when we wanted to bottle A2 milk, my son has a pilot's license, and so we actually flew to farms, because they're not right all here in the neighborhood, and toured all kinds of places doing it on farm, bottling and stuff, just because that's a huge investment. Not for the lotion business, no. You can make and make and make and grow and grow and grow all day, but if you don't have somebody that's going to buy it, it's not going to be a good ending.